right, guys, so we are done creating our statements and we are done naming them. Now, if I do equal to income statement, I should see all my related income statements. And then if I do balance sheet, I should see all my related balance sheet reports. And then I also have what? My trial balance. So if I just type trial balance, I have that. When I press enter or tab and enter, I have this in there. Okay, like I said earlier, I'm going to use trim range to trim all the excesses out. All right, so we can take this guy off. Now that we are done with this, let's look at what we want to try and achieve in the completed version. So over here, the completed version, we want to be able to create this view that can be switched. So we can change this to balance sheet and we can see the balance sheet. We can switch this to trial balance. We can see the trial balance and we can select everything as well. Good. So to do this, we're going to make a duplicate of our dashboard we created. So I'm just going to hold down the control key, right click. When I have this cursor that has a paper at this tip with a plus icon on it, I'll just drop it here. Okay, and I'm going to call this statement. We're using a duplicate of this because it has the exact same font colors and stuff. All right, so let's come back to the main one, right? We see that over here, we have margins here and here, right? And B is set to a larger width so that we can actually put text in there. So we're going to do the same thing over here. So this is A, this is E, but then we want to do it as A and C. All right, so for B, we're going to select B, Alt HOW, the shortcut for increasing width. We'll make it 30. Good. We'll reduce this to 3 as well, Alt HOW, 3. All right, good. Let's come back here. Column D was set to something very small, and the font color of this was used to create something like a brick. So I'm going to reduce this. I don't have any particular size in mind. You can use 1, you can use 0.5. I'll just copy what I have over here. I just want the color, so copy Control C, stand in any cell, preferably D1, and paste Control V this way. Or you can highlight everything and press Control V. Good. So then you have your break in there. Okay. So now we have E, F, G. And let's see how those are treated. So E is also a margin. F is large, G is for amount, and H is a margin. Okay, so F, I'm going to make this Alt HOW, Alt HOW 30. Is that okay? Let me delete this guy. Select, delete. Good. I'll copy down Control D. I'll also let me insert some rules over here. Alt H. I see. Good. So this is 30. I'll set this to 10. Alt HOW 10. Okay, and then I'll set this to 3. Alt HOW 3. Good. I can also be set to 3. Alt HOW 3. All right. Good. Okay, so you see I also has the same background as this. So you can just copy this guy and paste it here. Good. Now that we have this in place, let's delete all these cards. So I'll select this, hold Control, select the other ones, select my chart as well, delete. Okay. Highlight this area, copy it down, Control D. The reason why I didn't copy to this point is because we have a merge cell over here. We need to take that off. On the merge. Good. Now I can copy this side also down. So now this is a blank area, just like we have over here. Okay. So now we're going to set this to 30 as well. Alt HOW 30. Good. That's where the account names will be listed out. And everything after that is going to be set to 10. Okay, so Alt HOW 10. That's where the numbers are going to be, right? Good. And this ends around W. So we can leave it to X. So then let's just clear all these. So I'm going to do Alt HDC. That's to delete the columns. Good. So those are deleted as well. So at the end of the day, you should have something looking like this. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so we have our controls in here. We don't need the words control. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to select these two, bring them down a bit. Good. So we have our year, we have our month. Okay. Then we're going to create two more. That's amount type and report type. But first, let's bring this drop down in here. So standing in row 7, I'm going to type select statement. All right. Highlight everything here, make it a font white. Basically, let's just highlight the entire report and make it white. So font color, white. So now that we have that in place, I'm going to come to home in cell B9, or go to home, not home, come to data actually. And then I'll come here to data validation. Okay, I'm going to create a list. And this list is going to include three things. It's going to include income statement, balance sheet, and then we have trial balance. I'm going to take up the space I put here. So income statement, balance sheet, and trial balance. You don't need to put them in double quotation. Just click OK. When I click here, I have income statement, I have balance sheet, and I have trial balance. Let's format this a bit. Let's make it bold, and let's increase the size so it stands out. Good. We have something like this. So select statement. You can select the statement you want. Now, when we select the statement, we want to be able to indicate the amount type and the report type. But I want these to be slices as well. You get it? Now, the interesting thing is that we do not have any report that has these fields in there. So we need to create something like that. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to add a new sheet called setup sheet. Okay, and then I'm going to add two fields. I'm going to call this amount type. Okay, so we have monthly, we have year to date, right? And then the next field is going to be report type. We have collapse, we have expand. Okay, so I have these two in here. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of creating one pivot table for these two, I'll create two different pivot tables. So I'll highlight this, come to insert, pivot table from range, just this, existing. Now click OK. Is that okay? Now add this as a slicer and I'll drag this to rows this way. So if I select monthly, I have this. If I select year to date, I have this. And I'll do the same for this as well. Come to insert, pivot tables from this existing. I can put this just below here. Okay. Add this as a slicer as well. And then drag it to rows. So collapse, expand that way. So that's how you can create simple slices, even though they're not in your data, right? And I'll come to statement. I'll paste them here, Control V. I'm going to take amount to the top, come to slicer, apply my format, two columns, reduce this. Good. Bring this here, do same slicer, apply this. Okay, and two columns as well, and I'll reduce this. Good. So now we have something like this. So we have our year, we have our amount, we have our report type. Is that okay? Good. We can align them to the left. So I select this, select that, select that, select that. Come to slicer, come to align, and then set this to align to the left. So everything is well aligned. Good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is based on the selection. So income statement, the amount type selected, and then the report type, it should pick one of the reports in this sheet, or that sheet, right? Good. So how do we do this? So it's going to simply be a concatenation. So we select this guy, concatenated with, we come to setup sheet, this guy, and then remember we had an underscore somewhere, right? So we need to bring the underscore. So this underscore, this guy, right? And then underscore in double quotation, expand this way. So we have income statement YTD expand, right? When you do income statement, you see that income statement YTD expand. The only difference is over here in the statement, there's a space, but here there's no space. So we need to replace the space in here with an underscore. The reason why I didn't put in a name is because I don't want the names to have income underscore statement, balance sheet underscore statement, you know? So basically what we're going to do is equal to substitute, right? When you select this guy, now all text is space, and I'm replacing it with underscore like this way. So I have income underscore statement. So I want to replace just the B9 with this. I'm going to copy this guy. I hope you saw that. Let me just zoom in. I'm going to copy this guy. Okay. And I'll come here and then replace this. That. Press enter. Good. So now we have income statement YTD. Did you get it? Great. So now we have the name. So how do we pull it in based on the name? We use a function called indirect. So you wrap this around indirect, and then you have this. Voila. You see that working so nicely. Okay. Now what do we want to do? What we want to do is stand here. Is that okay? And then we're going to say trim range. Trim range, close brackets, enter. Good. So if I change this from income statement to, let's say, balance sheet, I have the balance sheet lines, right? If I change this to monthly, I have monthly, year to date. If I close this, I expand, you get it? Income statement, close, expand, monthly, year to date. Good. The last one is trial balance. So if I select trial balance, I get an error because there is no trial balance year to date expand. So what I'm going to do is, in the event when what's selected is an error, we want to pull in the just trial balance, indirect trial balance. So we're going to say this error no, I say it's error, if error, if error. So if this happens to be an error, just give me trial balance. Good. So if it's an error, it will give you trial balance. But you see this pulls this down like this. So we have to wrap this around trim range of its own. So trim range, then we have trial balance, enter. So the only time an error will pop up is when you select trial balance because it doesn't have any of these other factors, right? So that's what happened. So income statement, fantastic. Balance sheet, fantastic. Trial balance, fantastic. Is that okay? Good. So we're going to end the video over here because we're basically be able to pull everything in. And then the next video, what we're going to do is how can we format this so that it goes from this raw view to something that looks like this. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video.